Greetings, I'm Barrett, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. We are continuing our playthrough of the Ghosts Betwixt. We've made it through our first room, and we're going to be moving into the next exploring phase. But before we do that, there's a couple things I want to mention. First is this guy, our lackey guy that we fought in the last video. I kept calling this turquoise dye a light blue dye. He should have been rolling 2 light green dyes and a light yellow dye. I don't know how much that would have affected anything, but I just want you to be aware. The other thing I want to mention is thanks to Grifftastic, who can actually read the English language and I can't. When I rolled my number 1 for trembling, it said random family member loses 8 HP or a family point. I read that as and. So poor Maddox had gotten hit for extra damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give him back a family point. With those two things cleared up, we're going to go ahead and move right on into the game, and we're going to probably go a little bit faster now that I've talked about many of the basic rules. So will our family members find that locked door to the basement? To find out, I need you to meet me at the table.
Ooh, would you try those days? If that's fun, you should know there's another way. Then we can make it last forever if people stay right on track. And if we try to get through the rest, we'll never ever see the best. The best. Big shoes with the battle fronts in my way. Big style, 'cause I'm making the same mistakes this time. So you don't know that if you try real hard, I'll get back to you, baby, tonight. And if we make it through the past, we might get it right. Get it right.
So our exploring phase is going to have our family members all kind of move up this way, and they're going to turn this way to go through this door. And I think I like the same plan I had last time. I'm going to put the range guys in the back, and I'm going to put the fighting guys in front. Now, when we're doing the explore phase, I can't use any of my actions or anything. So we're just going to go ahead, open this door, and we're going to see what's behind it. And since for the filming purposes, I'm going to draw the tokens out, but then I'm going to reposition the board after we do that. Now that we have our guys where they are, we're going to go ahead and do the drawing phase. So we're going to start by drawing our map token. Which map token did we find? 7A. All right, we're going to go ahead and get that map token. It's right here. So we're going to put this out and get everybody onto the board. Now there's 2 possible exits from this map. So I've gone ahead and laid it this way. It's kind of a bigger map. Now we have to draw 3 tokens. Our first one is a special token. Our second one is a monster group 5. Oh, I should probably bring these up to the camera so you can see them. It's monster group 5, and our third one is going to be, oh, it's a rat trap. Okay, interestingly enough, we did not draw a door, so we don't have anything over here that we can go through. So there is a solution to this problem. Now I'm going to place this token right here, because if there is not a door leading out of the room you're coming into, you have to spawn yet another room. All right, so this one is 2A. So I'm going to put that one right here, and I'm going to grab that tile. So this is our 2A tile. It's like a long hallway. So we're going to go ahead and just sneak it right up here. I'm going to move these cards out of the way, and it's going to line up right there. Now we also draw 3 more tokens, and I'm going to have to reset the camera again once we get this all done. Our first token is another monster group 1. Then we get, oh, we got a treasure 6. I like treasure 6. I hope we get a door. Oh, we found a door. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to take first our door token, and we're going to put it right here at the edge of this map. I know it's pretty close to off camera, so I'm going to readjust this camera so we can actually see more of the map. All right, I've repositioned our map. So we're going to go ahead and put 2A up here. I'm going to put the rest of the tokens up there for them. We'll deal with those after we deal with the one for this room. So first, we drew our special token. The first thing we did is got this special token. It's called a surprise event token. What it says is that I'm going to go ahead and place this next to the map tile for which it was drawn. So I'm going to put it, I'll put it just right, oh man, I've covered it, put everything. Okay, I'll put it right here so I can hopefully remember. Now during the next exploring phase, the surprise event token must be resolved. End the next exploring phase with the family members on the map tile with the surprise event. See the surprise event section in the mission guide. So inside that mission guide, it does have all these different things that we can find if we pick out these event tokens. They're all right here. So we're going to read one of those after we get done taking care of this whole entire extravaganza here. And we move into our next exploring phase. Next, we're going to have to deal with our monster token 5. So let's go to the book and figure out what monster token this represents. So if you look at monster token 5, this is out of control. We get 2 rabid ferrets and a rolling pin lady. 2 new monsters we haven't seen yet. So we have 2 of these rabid ferrets, and they roll a dark blue and a light green die. They have 1 agility, 5 speed, they have 2 hit points. We gain 2 experience. Now notice they don't have any of those beastly weapons that we need to draw. They also have some interesting things here. It says piercing bite. Each star deals damage 1, ignoring the target's defense and agility. Target's dodges still removes hits. All right, that's not too bad. And they also have a power called hit and run. What this means is they'll move up to their speed value, and if they have any extra after they hit you, they're going to move away from you as well. Now let's take a look at our rolling pin lady. Oh my gosh, she's out of control. Check this out. She rolls a dark blue die, a light green die, another light green die, and a light yellow die. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. She has 8 hit points, 6 experience points. She gets to roll a brown defense dice. That's better than anything we've got, except for, I guess, Bill's got brown defense die. All right, she also has that hit and run ability, and she also has bop them on the head, which is pretty awesome. It says damage 1 and stunned 1. That's only if they're able to use 2 of those diamonds. And if that wasn't enough, with her holding this rolling pin in her hand, she also gets to grab a humanish weapon. So she was able to get a hold of, what's this? A dull butter knife. So she got a rolling pin and a dull butter knife, which gives her an extra light blue. And it doesn't have anything extra. It doesn't trigger any extra abilities. So we're going to go ahead and put her in play as well. Now we have to figure out who they're going to hit. So first we're going to grab the targets for our ferrets. Our first ferret is going to be targeting, oh, Evelyn. I don't like when people target Evelyn. Our second ferret is going to target, oh, they're both targeting Evelyn. Oh, that's terrible. Well, hopefully the rolling pin lady doesn't have it out for her too. Well, let's see. Nope, a rolling pin lady has it out for Maddox. So they're all going for the back row. So our first ferret, which is going to signify the top part of this card, is going to be target Evelyn. Our second ferret, which is going to occupy this other part of the card on this side, is also going to be target Evelyn. We're also going to take our standee for ferret number 1. He's going to go right here, but we're going to put him on the board in a second, and standee number 2 there. All right, next we got the crazy rolling pin lady, and she gets 8 health, so we're going to put that right here next to her knife, and she also is targeting Maddox, so I'm going to put that right there as well. Here's her super awesome standee. She's running right at us with this rolling pin. Oh, that's an awesome picture. All right, so we're going to put all those on the board. Now to place them on the board, we're going to have to roll on an X and Y axis. We're going to start it right here at 1. So 1 to 8 is that way, and our first ferret is going to go 1 right here, and it's also going to go on 2. So it is right here, and it is ready to go after Evelyn. So I'm going to turn it that way because it's going to be heading towards Evelyn. Our next ferret is going to go on 5 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop, I can't. I'm throwing things everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be right here, facing down like that. Now, of course, we've got our big, huge, evil creature, the rolling pin lady. She's going at 6 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. She's up here. She was hiding behind the couch. Look at that. Hiding behind the couch. Now we also have to place our trap token. I'm going to remove this map token because our map is ready. Our trap is going to be at 2 and 5. So it's going to go 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to use this trap, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, right there. We'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, I'm sorry. This is supposed to turn that way. Now that this room is complete, we have to go ahead and set up room 2A as well. So the first thing we're going to do with 2A is we're going to go ahead and roll our trap, or sorry, our chest. He's at 7, and then even is the even odd. Or no, odd even. That makes more sense. Odd. It's going to be right here. Our treasure is hanging out right there. Now we have to go see what number 1 is. So number 1 is again going to be just another lackey, but just another lackey actually makes me kind of scared. Just another lackey is going to target, oh, we'll just take Joan. She popped up. All right, he's going to target Joan. So Joan is going to be our target, and he also has 6 hit points, and he also gets a humanish weapon. So let's see what he gets. Oh, he gets, what is this? A cracked mop. Okay, well, it doesn't do any extra, but he does get to roll an extra light green die. So that's no good. We're going to put that there. We've got a World of Hurt coming at us. Let's go spawn that guy. All right, so our lackey is going to start at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then odd even. Odd. He's going to be right here, and he is coming at Joan, so he's moving that way. All right, I guess that's all our guys. Now let's go ahead and start our combat phase. Now we all get to do our pre-combat action, and Joan is actually going to take a offensive stance. I know she's being attacked by the lackey, but I'm hoping that that lackey can't reach her this turn. Next we have Maddox. I'm also going to give him an offensive stance. He also is being targeted by that rolling pin lady, but I actually don't think she's going to be able to get to him either. So I think the way our guys are positioned right now, a lot of these people just go right into their offensive mode. Except for Evelyn, because she's being targeted by a bunch of ferrets. I'm going to go ahead and take a defense die for her. But Bill here, yeah, he's going to go ahead and take an offensive stance. We're going to go get these guys. All right, I've got a plan. Here we go. We're going to start with Bill. Bill's going to move 1, 2, let's see, he's going to go, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he is going to hit this guy right here. Let's see if I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, he's going to go ahead and hit this ferret. All right, so if you look at Bill, he gets a light green die, and he also gets another light green die. Now, because of his strength 3, he's going to grab a light orange die, and our ferret gets a tan defense dice. So we're going to roll all these dice. And I'm going to only do this one more time through our characters because we've seen this all throughout the last video. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down. But in the future, I'm just going to show you the dice we're going to roll, and we're going to roll them. All right, so Bill gets his pink putter, and our ferret gets his defense die. Come on, Bill, let's get this guy. Oh, yeah, we got him. Oh, we got him real good. Okay, good. Oh, check this out. We totally rocked this guy. So our rabid ferret has 1 agility. So he is going to go ahead and take 1 hit. And our ferret only has 2 hit points, and we did 3 damage to it, so it's dead. Now, I also would have had an ability to use something off my pink putter, which would have been an extra damage, or I could have made it stumble, but we don't need to do that because we got that ferret. And since that was ferret 1, we're going to return this targeting token, and we're going to go ahead and remove these hit points. Now, we still have a second ferret out there we have to deal with. Also, Bill is going to gain the ferret to show who did the killing blow, and because he did a killing blow, he's going to gain an extra advantage for a die. So after that smashing success with Bill, we're going to move into our monster activation phase. And our first monster that's going to activate is our ferrets. They were the first one that appeared when we looked at our token. So if we look at their card, they've got a speed value of 5, and their priority target right now is Evelyn. So they're going to run right up here and smack this girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've got hit and run. So after they do make the attack, they are going to move back away from everybody as best they can. So they're just going to go right back up there. So we're going to see how they do. Now, if we look at their card, they get a dark blue die and a light green die. All right, let's see how that goes. And Evelyn's going to gain a white die. And remember, we were able to give her a bonus die. So we're going to give her this tan die as well. All right, we're going to roll these along with our rabid ferrets. Our rabid ferret gets 2 dice, and we get 2 dice as well. So let's roll these up. Oh, we got 1 hit. Okay, that's no good. Now, it's a little bit interesting because they've got a power that's different. Notice I didn't roll any damage dice. If we look at their character card here, it says piercing bite. Each hit deals damage 1, ignoring the target's defense and agility. Now, if I would have rolled any dodges, that would still remove these. So since we have 1 defense, it says that it ignores the defense. So it actually is going to go ahead and do 1 damage to Evelyn. But before we deal any damage, we actually have to potentially change the ferret's target. So we're going to draw a new symbol. Let's see who her actual target is. Oh, it's Bill. All right, so Bill sadly is out of range of these ferrets, so the ferret's attack will still target Evelyn. Now, if we would have picked up Maddox or even Jones, they're adjacent to that character, so they actually would have been the one hit by this. And if that was the case, they would have actually got to roll their defense dice. So it would have potentially missed if they would have gotten the dodge die. But none of that happened. Evelyn's still going to take 1 damage, and their token is going to switch from Evelyn over to Bill. So we're going to go ahead and take 1 damage off of Evelyn. She's down to 3. We have to be careful with her. She doesn't have a lot to begin with. So now it's our turn again after our ferret went. It's going to be Joan. Joan's going to go ahead and hit this ferret. Now she gets to do 2 activations. But when you do 2 activations, I do want to make one thing clear that I don't think I cleared up too well in the last video. When she goes to take an offense or defensive stance, those can only be done as your second action. I may have done one as the first action in the last video. I can't remember. I'll have to check and make a note in that video if that's the case. So just remember, if you go to make an offense or defensive stance, it can only be done as the second activation. So our first activation with Joan, though, is going to be to smash this guy. So Joan is going to grab a light green die for her stance. She's also going to grab a green die for her baseball bat, a dark yellow die for her attack, and another light green die for being Joan. And we're going to roll these up, and we're going to also have to deal with our ferret's brown defense dice. Let's see if she can take out one as well as he did. Now, I'm going to move this back down, though if we kill it, I get to gain that back. All right, so Joan gets some dice, and so does our ferrets. Let's go ahead and take them out. Oh, I think we did it. Oh, we totally smashed this guy into next week. All right, so here's the deal. We hit him. They only have an agility of 1, so we only need to hit 1 success. We got our success, and we did 2 damage. They only have a health of 2. Now, of course, with these 2 symbols, we could activate her bat, and her bat would do an extra 1 damage, and it would also cause stumble. But we don't need to worry about that because while we already did the 2 damage, it's a dead ferret. So we're going to go ahead and remove that ferret. So we're going to go ahead and put our ferret card back in the monster deck. They're all dead. We're going to remove the 2 health chips, and we're going to put Bill's token back in the pool. We're then going to take our standee and give it to Joan. So we're going to put our standee right here, and I do like the way this works that you put the standees here because it actually helps remember that I need to put that token up 1. If I didn't put the standees back here, I probably might miss that every once in a while. And with my second activation, I think we're going to use her Nurse of Life. I know Evelyn's only taken 1 damage, but she only has 4, and I always get worried about her when she gets hurt. So we're going to go ahead and roll a light green die, and a self or adjacent family member gains hit points equal to the number of symbols on the die plus 1. Now, this roll is really a moot point because she only has lost 1, so she didn't gain any extra, but she does heal 1 health to Evelyn. So Evelyn is back to 4 health. All right, the next person to activate is going to be our rolling pin lady. Now she has a speed value of 4. So we're going to go ahead and move her 4 spaces. Now this is going to be a little bit interesting. I hope I do this correctly. I want to make sure I do it correctly. If I don't, please let me know in the comments below what you think about how this works. So it says that sometimes these monsters, if they can't get to their target, which is Maddox, and we can obviously see Maddox is more than 4 squares away. So she's not going to be able to get to Maddox. But she will attack anybody that's on the way, is what they call it. So the way this works is if a monster can attack a non-targeted family member while still making progress toward the target family member, a monster will choose to attack one on the way family member over another if it is able to move farther toward that target. So here's the deal. She can move 4 squares. So she can move 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, if she moves through a diagonal space next to an obstacle, it counts as an extra movement point. It's called cutting the corner. But so here's the deal. 1, 2, 3, 4 is still making progress towards Maddox, and she could hit Bill. But on the next turn, she would have to move 1, 2, 3 to get to Maddox. But if she's to move 1, 2, 3, 4 and ignore Bill completely, it would only take 2 squares to get to Maddox the next turn, which I believe is what she would do. Though, I don't know, if I was a rolling pin lady, I'd probably go hit Bill first. But from what I gather, that's the way I would do it. If it's wrong, please let me know, and I'll make sure to make a note in the video. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. And she's not going to attack anybody because she doesn't have any ranged weapons. Our next activation is going to actually be Maddox because he's got an awesome plan. No, actually I lied. It's going to be Evelyn. No, it has to be Maddox. It has to be Maddox in order for this to work. Maddox is going to move up 1 square. Actually, now that I think about it, he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's going to move over to here. I think that's going to be a better plan because then Evelyn actually has a shot in the next turn. So he's going to move to here, and he's going to use his bottle rocket. So we're going to go ahead and use the bottle rocket he has. He gets 1 green die for being himself. He gets a dark yellow die for his accuracy. He gets a light green die for his bonus attack die. But now let's look at the bottle rocket. His bottle rocket card gives him a light blue and a light green. It says, don't set anyone's roof on fire. Now it gets Pierce 1, so it'll ignore any defense that's rolled. Well, up to 1. Now it says targets a random monster within range, determine range before attacking, and immune to obstruction penalties. So he actually could have stayed where he was and not got the obstruction penalty from his family members, but I wanted to get closer to the action. So he's going to grab a light blue die for that, and he's also going to get a light green die. Now we're going to spend our firework token. And our rolling pin lady is actually going to grab a brown defense dice, which is a really good defense dice compared to the other one. So we're going to move his token down. We're going to grab all our dice, and we're going to fire this bottle rocket. So the reason I did this all in that order is because if Maddox is right here, he has a range value of 3 plus his accuracy, which is 2. So his range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's not going to be able to get to the lackey that's way up here. So our only target is our rolling pin lady. So it all worked out really well. We took out both those ferrets. If we didn't take out both the ferrets, it could have potentially bottle rocket one of the ferrets, which would have been absolutely pointless compared to how much damage we could potentially do to this rolling pin lady. All right, so I get a ton of dice and she gets 1. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we hit her and we do some good damage. We got a 3, so that's fantastic. Now did we hit her? We got 2 hits. Now these 2 hits are going to be against her agility, and our enemy's agility is only a 3. So we hit the agility because we only needed 1 attack. Now we got that. Now we also got a diamond symbol as well. So we've done 3 damage. Let's bring our bottle rockets in here. So if we've done 3 damage to our wonderful rolling pin lady, if we look at this, this will give us pierce. Now she didn't get any defense that's going to help her with that. She got a change target, which she's really pissed at Maddox right now, but that's okay, she already was. Now this isn't going to do anything, but what we've managed to do is 3 damage to our rolling pin lady, but we also get 1 from the firework itself. So we've done 4 damage for this rolling pin lady. That's half her health in 1 shot. That was absolutely fantastic. So our rolling pin lady took 4 damage. I'm going to replace the 5 and put a 1 here. So she's down to 4, and she had to change her target to the attacker, and their attacker is Maddox anyway, so we're good there. So that was a fantastic turn for Maddox. Way to go, good shot. All right, so now we're going to go on to our lackey. He's the next person that's going to activate. He's got a speed of 5, so he's coming from over here. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and his target is Joan. So he's going to go 3, 4, 5 coming into the fight. So I'm glad we fired our bottle rocket now, because if we would have fired it at this point with both of these guys here, we would have actually not had a chance at her. It could have been a 50-50 because both of these characters are in range. We only have 1 person left to go, and that's Evelyn. Evelyn is going to fire her slingshot right at this guy. Or her, I should say, at this girl, this woman with the rolling pin. Let's hit her with a bunch of pebbles or something. So Evelyn's going to gain a light yellow, a light green, and she's also going to get a light blue, a dark green, and our evil rolling pin lady is going to be getting a brown defense dice. So we're going to go ahead and take these and hopefully take out, well, we're not going to be able to take her out. This thing only goes to a 3. All right, let's see how we do here. We have our 4 dice, and we've got our brown defense dice. Come on, let's get her. Oh, I think we got her. She got nothing. This is fantastic. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, this is like the perfect roll. So we're going to go ahead and look at our slingshot. Our slingshot hit. Our rolling pin lady only has 1 agility. So we hit with our rolling pin, or sorry, our slingshot. Our slingshot did 3 damage. That's awesome. Her defense did nothing. Now here's the big one. Check this out. So on top of this, I am able to do 1 damage because of my 2 diamonds. So that's going to get us 4 damage to this lady. Oh, this is so good. Now this one I could have used to cause 2 damage, but it only works on beastly enemies, and she's not a beastly enemy. No matter how much you think our rolling pin lady is a beastly enemy, she's not. All right, so we did 4 damage, which is enough to take her out. All right, so that was absolutely amazing. So we did all 4 damage, killing off our rolling pin lady. I can't believe it. Wow, we did such a good job. So we're going to return this card to our humanish pile, and we're going to return this one to the monster pile, and we're going to return this, of course, back to the token pool. Now after we return both these cards to the deck, we're going to take this standee and give it to Evelyn. So Evelyn's going to gain that standee, and she's also going to get 1, oh, I lied, sorry, this goes all the way down. She gets 1 for killing the rolling pin lady, and I'm actually going to give her an offensive stance for her second action because it's her second action this turn. And so as a second action, I'm going to go ahead and give her an offensive stance. So she's up to 2 extra light green dice. So now that that round is done, we're going to go ahead and roll our die to see if anything bad happens to our... Oh, it almost did. We got a 2. Okay, nothing happened if we got a 1 bad things. Now it's the start of the next round. I think Bill's going to go first. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to hit this lackey from the back. So Bill gains a light green die, another light green die, and a 3rd light green die for having killed that ferret last turn. And his strength 4 token now, because he's hitting it from the back, becomes a dark orange die. Now I know I said I wasn't going to keep doing this, but I think I will for this video. And if you want me to continue to keep showing what dice I'm using and why, let me know in the comments below. But if you think you figured it out, I'll just go ahead and show the dice before I roll them. Speaking of dice, our lackey gets a tan die. So let's go ahead and see how we do against our lackey. We've got our pink putter here. All right, we got all our dice. Oh, we did really good. Wow, since these guys apparently got out of the first room, they've really improved their situation here. So he got nothing on his defense die. That die does nothing. Now if we look, his agility is 1. So we hit. We only needed 1. Those are nothing now. We've done 3 damage to that lackey. Now sadly, we didn't get any extra bonus dice, so nothing extra happens. So leaving just doing 3, I'm totally fine with. So our lackey took 3 damage. So if we remove this 5, we can just put 2 tokens here. And that was absolutely amazing. And he is going to go after Joan now. And if you can tell by her portrait, she doesn't seem to be too worried about it. She's saying, bring it on, lackey. So again, our lackey has a speed of 5. And he's going to come running in. 1, 2, 3. And he's just going to go ahead and wallop up on Joan. Now sadly, our lackey gets a lot of stuff here. Light green die, another light green die, and he also gets a light green die for his mop. Now he gets it's a light yellow die here for damage. And Joan, though, only gets a tan die for defense. So hopefully this doesn't go too bad. So we're going to roll up his 4 die, and I got my white tan die. Let's see how this goes. Oh, this didn't go all that great. All right, so he did hit. He only needed 1 agility to hit. Now let's look at the rest of his stuff here. He needed only 1 to hit, so he hit me. My defense die didn't do anything. So we've gone ahead and removed those dice. He did 1 damage to me, so we're going to take 1. Now if we look at his power, we got 1 diamond. Now it says here he needs to have 2 diamonds in order to activate that power. And if we look at his mop doesn't do anything. There's no special abilities here. So we walked out of this, I think, a little okay. We only took 1 damage. So Mom took 1 damage. Because she got hit, Joan's kind of mad. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 around behind, and she's going to hit him right in the back. So Joan's going to gain a light green as well. She's also going to green for her baseball bat. And since she's behind him, her strength is going to move up to a 3, which means she's going to be rolling a light orange die. Our wonderful lackey is going to be rolling this brown die. So we're going to take them all, and hopefully this will be it. All right, we got her die and his. Let's see how we do. All right, good news, bad news. We hit him. All right, we hit him real good. We got 1 hit, and we did 2 damage only, though. But we did get a diamond. We'll see how that goes. So if we look at our lackey does have 1 agility. So our 1 hit does hit. We're going to be doing 2 damage to that lackey. Now, if we look at our baseball bat, we might actually get him. Let's see how this goes. For every I get 1 diamond, I can do 1 more damage. And he only has 3, so we actually did do it. Okay, good news. Because of the bat itself, we're able to do a total of 3 damage. So, of course, dealing that 3 damage is just enough to take out the lackey. So we're going to go ahead and remove our tokens, put this back with our humanish things, this with our monster. We're going to put this token back in a token pool. And then after we return the cards to where they go, we're going to go ahead and put this standee on Joan's card. So Joan is going to gain yet another standee, and she's going to move her token down, but then move it back up. I forgot to move it down when I rolled the dice. She gets 1 for actually taking out the lackey. Now, we would be tallying up experience points if this was the real game, but it's not. We're just using a prototype. But remember, if these standees are on their cards, they're going to gain bonus experience points for each standee they have. Now, Joan, of course, had 2. She did really good. Having taken out 2 enemies, or enemy groups, I should say, we get 2 cards from the drop deck. Our first card is another buck. That doesn't help at all. Our second card is Monster Trophy. Take the monster trophy of a random monster defeated in the fighting phase. Now, what this card represents is as we move into other scenarios, I believe we're able to use this monster trophy to grab extra items or weapons or learn new abilities based on something we might have learned from the monster. I believe that's what that's all about. So we're going to go ahead and put these back in our drop deck and shuffle this all up. So again, we didn't get really any items or anything, but that's okay. Now, again, since this is the prototype, I don't have any advancements or anything, so that is actually kind of a moot point. But if you were to be playing a campaign version of this game or any other type of scenario type driven part of this game, you would be gaining things like from that drop deck that would have meant something awesome. Also, since we were able to finish that room, we get to take a look at treasure token 6, and it says we get an orange juice and fruity bears. So we got our fruity bears. Our fruity bears are gummy candy with a peculiar flavor. It says down here at the bottom, Gain concentrated to or lose lightheaded to self or adjacent family member. Those are going to be status ailments or status benefits. Our other one is going to be our orange juice. Now we already have two of these. It says squeezed fresh from the Benert farm. It says here, roll a dark yellow and gain HP to self or adjacent family member. I was contacted by the creator. This is supposed to be family points. It gains back family points, not hit points. So we're going to go ahead and put both of these with some people. I think we're going to give this one, I think we're going to give it to Maddox because he's actually, oh, he already has orange juice. I'm going to give this to Joan. And we're going to give our fruity bears, oh, let's just go ahead and give it to Evelyn. She looks like somebody who likes fruity bears. All right, so that's the end of our fighting phase. So now we're going to be moving into, again, another one of our exploring phases. So that means that we have to resolve this token over here. We have that surprise event token. Now what we have to do is we have to get everybody onto this map tile, and then we're going to go ahead and resolve this special event token here, this surprise events. So let's go ahead and look in our book under 7A. Now if we look under surprise event A, it says there's a knock at the front door. Who's there? Roll a d6. We're going to roll a d6 and see what happens. We got a 2. It says nobody, but someone or something did leave a gift on the front door. Draw once from the item deck. Oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the top card from our item deck, and we got, what's this? Smelling salts will perk you up real quick. Remove any condition from self or adjacent family member. Wow, that's really good, I think. If we start getting ailments, this is going to be the key to victory. We're going to give this to Bill. The dad likes that. So now that we resolved our token, we're going to go ahead and again move into our next phase where we're going to grab a map token and also some of our fate tokens. And we're going to continue looking for our objective, which is our basement locked door. But before we do that, we're going to stop for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This game's a lot of fun. I'm really having a good time. I love that rolling pin lady. That was good stuff. Our team has really learned how to fight, which is really good because that first room we didn't do too good. There was absolutely way too much missing. There's no missing this time. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that bell symbol. You'll know when the next video comes out. And if this is during the Kickstarter, please feel free to press that button right up there and it'll send you to the Kickstarter so you can learn some more information or even back the game if you're interested. If you are looking for any other information, please check out Board Game Geek or the actual website. And again, I'm going to put those in the description below. And don't forget the comment section below. Put whatever you want. I'm really excited to hear from everyone. Our family members really stepped it up this time. Will they continue to be this good while they're looking for the door to the basement? To find out, I need you to meet me at the table.